Okay, morning everyone. Great to see you. Happy Friday. So it's spinal mobility stuff today. So you don't have to use a wall, but if you've got a wall nearby, you can have a go there. But option two is to use the floor. So obviously we're on the floor, just lie back, and we're just going to start doing some kind of spinal rolls. But if you have got a wall nearby, have a go on the wall, just because you can get a real feel for the whole of the spine on the wall. There's a little bit more movement with the body. You can kind of really come forward, get right to the tailbone, and come all the way right to the base of the neck. So wherever you're starting, whether that's standing or lying down, we're just going to kind of get a bit familiar with the spine. So wherever you are, just start to close your eyes, lean against the wall or set yourself up on the floor. And first of all, just get a real sense of the whole of the spine against whatever you're using this morning. So from the tailbone right to the base of the neck, as best as you can. And you'll notice that there's some natural kind of lifts away from the wall or the floor, where your spine naturally has these curls in it. So the first one is like the back of the neck, so your head, your shoulder blades, and then your back of your rib cage and your lower back and your pelvis are the main things that will hit the wall or the floor. And then the back of the neck and kind of the space behind the navel are the two places that kind of will be lifted away from the wall, or the floor. So that's the natural curve. Then try to just really press the whole of your spine into whatever surface you're using. So you're going to have to kind of counteract those natural curls by drawing in the navel most of all. That's the biggest kind of kick out of the spine. Great, and just with the eyes closed, try and move along every single vertebra really, really slowly, and almost send your mind space to your spine as you roll up and down. And when you're ready, just start to kind of connect the breath to the movement. So maybe inhale to roll up and exhale to roll down. And these are really lovely movements at any point in the day, especially if you've got a wall nearby your workspace. Great. And then if you're on the floor, just take a moment to bring the knees in and roll along the spine a few more times, because we're all going to meet either in tabletop, ready for our melting heart, or we can flip around and use the wall for that as well. So if you're using the wall, we're going to take the hands nice and wide, feet beneath the hips, and we're going to come into our melting heart version at the wall. If you're on the floor, it's a good roll up and down the spine, which will feel nice as well. Try and get the whole of the spine involved in those rocks and rolls. And then just come through a tabletop and find your way into the version of this using the floor. And now we'll just find a little bit of stillness as opposed to movement. Think about bringing the chest, the collarbones, the chin closer either to the earth or to the wall ahead of you. Hands nice and wide. And just pause here in stillness for another 30 seconds or so. Opportunity just to check in with how you are this morning. How's your week been so far? I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the guest was saying how we don't ask ourselves how we're feeling very often. And I was like, we do that every morning. So that's what the world needs, he was saying. So we're on the right path, guys, checking in every day. How are we feeling? How are we doing? And just seeing what comes up. And then just knowing exactly where you need to be. Next part of your morning, just about moving and breathing, being with your body, setting the tone for your morning, for your day. Take another moment here before we just gently start to ease out. Let's push through the hands and just slowly ease yourself up, either to stand or to kneel. And just give yourself a little bit of movement here. Anything that feels good after that deep stretch. And then we'll all meet cross-legged. So if you've been kneeling, just kind of kick your heels under. If you've been standing, just come to sit. Or kneel, I don't mind. Either way. Let's just take a few moments. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. And just check in with how you're feeling once again. Think about the length of the spine. Think about the shape of your spine. The kicking out of the tailbone and the sit bones. The length through the neck. Positioning of the shoulders. Almost imagine the pelvis, the waist, the lower half of you being really heavy, grounded and stable. And then from the waist up, think about lifting, think about lengthening. And if you haven't already, let's start to find our breath this morning. So nice long exhale wherever you are. Breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3. Breathing out for 3, 2, 1. Keep that up, guys. Deep, rich breaths in. And long, slow breaths out. So from here, we'll just reach the arms up nice and high. We'll come into a little side stretch before we start to do a little bit of movement through the spine in our seat. So let's go over to the left, stretching out the right side body, and really keep that sense of length from the waist. And you can either hook your thumbs or you can float one hand down. I really don't mind your side stretch that feels really good for you. And really plug that right hip down and really try to create length and space from the hip and the armpit. Good, inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. I'm sure I've told this story before, but I had to go for a bone scan a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And they actually said the last time I was measured was probably in my early 20s and I'm mid-30s now. And they actually said I'm taller than I was in my early 20s. So this lengthening in yoga does actually make you taller, guys. And I obviously haven't grown taller, it's just posture. So all this spine stuff, you're going to get a little bit taller. So that's good, isn't it? Reach up to the center, float the hands down, and then we'll just do some movements here with just these kind of rotations, but we're going to go really slowly. So it's almost like you're kind of creating a spiral with the rib cage. And start off small, doesn't matter what direction you go in, you can kind of change it up. And the more comfortable you get with these, because just be careful, we don't often do this movement, especially if you've got any sciatica or trapped nerves or anything going on, go really slowly. But as you get a bit more confident with the movement, really start to move the spine in every way you can, from rolling on the sit bones to moving through the waist, side to side, forwards and backwards, to then sending that movement into the rib cage. So get the shoulders involved a little bit, kind of rounding them and pulling them through. And you can even kind of, the head's a little bit more difficult, but just allow the head to kind of flow round with these rotations. And then change direction. You can kind of switch it up a bit if you want to do a figure of 8. But again, maybe close the eyes and don't think about how it looks. Think about how it feels. And it's almost like we're trying to cleanse and like decongest the spine. Just take a few more breaths doing this. And sometimes I think closing the eyes is good because you don't worry so much about how it looks. Good, great. And then let's come forward into tabletop once again. Nice. So hopefully your cats and cows are going to feel really good because we can almost go a little bit deeper straight away. So inhale, belly dips, shoulders come back, chin lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhale to round. And again, you can move with the breath. You can pause in these if they feel good. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create space in the vertebra. We're trying to improve the mobility. And we're also just trying to connect to our back and our spine. You know, often as we get older, as we become more sedentary, or we have sedentary lifestyles at desks and things, the spine is the main structure that suffers. We've all had little back pains or niggles, I'm sure. Great, okay, let's come back to neutral. So left hand is going to stay where it is, right arm is going to reach up. And we're going to just keep doing that. Right hand down, left arm up. And again, you know I like to move with the breath. If it feels like you want to pause, you pause, yeah? You take a moment to stay with the shoulders stacked. Or you move with the breath. It's an inhale to come up. It's an exhale to come down. Good. So we're twisting a lot more this month in some of the other practices as well. Not something we do often. Really good though. And we twist from the middle part of our spine, so a little bit above the navel. That's the main part of our spine that has the vertebra that does this kind of twisting motion. Okay, next time the right arm's up, let's thread it through and under. And be mindful we don't come too close to the knees. We want to keep the length, so almost go further towards the top of the mat. And bring your right ear and cheek to the floor. And we're either going to stay here, or we're going to take it a little bit further by adding a bind, hooking left arm behind, finding inner thigh, waist, whatever's available. Checking in with the breath this morning. Remember, that's your anchor, guys. If the mind starts to go off into your day ahead, just bring it back to the breath. Focus on the journey as it flows in and as it flows out. Great. Slowly release, pressing down, maybe briefly coming all the way back up just for one breath in, and then we'll go straight to the other side. So this time the left arm reaches up. Take a moment to really reach, and then thread the left arm behind the right wrist and come all the way down. Again, staying here or adding that little bind. This time the right hand wrapping around. Nice. Couple more. When you feel ready, slowly release. Again, briefly lift up and out. And then when you're ready, let's tuck the toes and really think about your hips lifting to the sky. Yeah, sometimes we get a little bit caught up on the heels, getting to the floor, the legs extending, the chest going to the thighs. I just want you to lift your hips to the sky. That's our downward dog, yeah? Real space in the spine. And maybe you lift high onto the toes and drop the heels. Any movements, guys, that feel good. A little bit of walking out. Great. So we'll have a go at these kind of rippling vinyasas, yeah, which just try to, again, build some wavy movements into the spine. So maybe a little bit longer in your stance, so shuffle the feet back, hover the knees, and then like you're trying to kind of push your head through the wall in front of you, you're just going to extend your legs and push into plank. And then if you can, if first one, knees and then hips to wrists, but if you don't need to drop the knees, you can come straight to up dog, and then tuck the toes and try to keep the knees soft as you ripple back to downward dog. So I'll go through that again. Hover the knees, shoot forward into plank, hips to wrists with the knees down, or if you feel ready to come straight to up dog, you can. And then exhale, slow push back, really round through the shoulders, and then send the hips back. So just slowing your vinyasa down, missing out chaturanga, yeah? Trying to ripple through. And you can get to the point where it's an inhale to come up or come through, and just an exhale to shoot it back. But if you need a few more breaths, you take them. If it doesn't feel good, just come back to your normal vinyasa version, but just really thinking about trying to wave the spine as much as you can. Nice. Take a couple more. And then we'll walk, step or hop to the top of the mat. Take a little inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. And we're going to do some twisting again here. So if the floor's far away, use your brick. And remember that length piece, yeah? We're really sometimes far too close to our toes. Get the crown of the head reaching as far forward as you can. So you've got all that length from tailbone to crown of head. Then start to twist, yeah? You can soften the knees. It might be that one knee needs to soften. So if you lift the left hand, the right knee might just soften a bit more. Or you might be okay with the brick or fingertips. Again, you can pause or you can keep flowing with the breath. But I want you to imagine from your navel down, you're like setting concrete, yeah? That's not moving. It's just this rib cage and shoulders that are moving. And you really get a sense of where we can twist from. Now you can stay here if that feels enough, or if you want to add in a little lift up, next time you inhale, push through the heels and reach up to stand. And then exhale, come down. So inhale, lengthen, float the hand. Exhale, soften the knees. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, windmill down. So you can take that nice and slow, or you can even inhale up and exhale down. Again, it depends on how your twisting feels. I like to take an extra breath to lengthen and then twist, just to create that space before I'm trying to then open up. So up and down a few more times if that feels good. And then next time you're up, let's stay up and just do the arms, yeah? So inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Same thing though, hips, toes, waist down, completely setting concrete. Squeeze the glutes a little bit, draw up through the thighs. We're plugged in from the waist down. Great, and then if it feels okay, next time you can pause, press, so right hand back, press it into the low back and reach the left arm forward. So we're just going to go into a little bit of a hold in this back bend. So hips forward, thighs drawn up, reaching left arm up and away, and really lifting from the chest and just adding that little twist on if it feels okay. Good, inhale back to center. Maybe briefly drop the head. You might even want to kind of soften the back a little. And then we'll go to the other side. So left hand behind and use that left hand to tease the hips forward and then reach the right fingertips to the sky. Good, breathing for 3, for 2. Good, on 1, come all the way back. We'll forward fold now, soft knees, hook toes, stand on hands, hold the backs of the calves. Your forward fold, inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Nice. Send the sit bones to the sky, let the head be super heavy. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we'll meet in downward dog if you want. You've got the option to kind of flow through one of those rippling vinyasas. Great. And then we'll inhale the right leg nice and high, reach it up to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot through. Inhale, we're finding our low lunge, okay? But with the spine focus. So pull the rib cage through, send that left hip forward, hug the right hip back, reach the fingertips up to the sky, hook the thumbs, and let's try and trace the fingertips along the ceiling or along the sky. Good, breathing here. Checking in with the breath. If it's a little bit sticky, ease off. Lift the chin maybe. We're here for 3. Can you lean back a little bit more for 2? Strong through the legs. Good, on 1, slowly come back. Take a moment. Now we'll do our twist. So left hand outside of right thigh, right hand either resting on lower back or reaching behind you. Yogi's choice, I don't mind. You can take a little reach. If you want to do a hip stretch, you can grab the foot. Either way, your version of a twist here. Good, that right hand can even wrap around the front of the left hip. So really spiraling, looking back, breathing for 3, for 2. Nice, on 1, slowly unravel. Take a moment, hands frame the foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, find your pyramid. So hips are going to come up, spine's going to drape down. You can almost afford for the back to round a little bit here. Nice counter posture. Good, and you can stay here if this feels okay and you want to just chill out a little bit. Or inhale, lengthen, right hip pulls back, crown of head forward, left hand walks forward, right arm reaches up, twist. And you should be feeling a real sense of length and like a real straight back in this one. Hips to crown of head, super long, super straight. And then just that spin of the shoulders. Breathing for 3, for 2. Nice, on 1. Vinyasa, or you skip it. Yogi's choice. That little ripple, hips to wrists. Nice. Okay, left leg nice and high. Let's do those couple of postures on the left. Really long through the leg, and then slowly and softly step the left foot through. Drop the back knee, uncurl the toes. Same thing. Hug the left hip back now. Tease the hips forward. Lift through the chest. Send the rib cage forward. Hook the thumbs. Lift the chin. Trace those fingertips along the ceiling. So we're getting this lovely arc, crescent shape from back foot to fingertips. Check in with the breath, guys. Keep it strong. Can you look at the wall behind you? We're here for 3, for 2. Good, on 1. Use the tummy muscles, contract them to bring you back up. Take a moment, then just ease into your twist. So right hand outside of left knee, left hand either resting behind you or reaching back. Yogi's choice. Remember, you've got that diagonal reach and that wrap around if you want. Listening to your body this morning, spiraling as much as you can. Good, we're here for 3. We're here for 2. Lovely, on 1, unravel, slowly, frame the front foot. Inhale to lengthen, lift the back knee, and exhale into your pyramid. Good. Head heavy. Enjoy a little bit of rounding. Nice. Walk the right hand forward, add that twist. Remember what you know. The hand needs to come quite far forward. It can be kind of next to the foot, but definitely not behind the foot. I'd say more in front of the foot. Good, keep hugging left hip back. Reaching, looking up for 3, for 2. Good, guys, on 1, release. We'll meet in downward dog, vinyasa, or you skip it. And before we come through to lie down for our final postures, if you want, you can just do a little reach from side to side. So just adding a little twist to our downward dog. That's always a nice movement. So right hand to left ankle, left hand to right ankle. And just see how that feels. Good, really nice. And then when you feel ready, let's come through to lie down. So you have a couple of options here. Depending on your energy levels this morning, you can come into a nice deep twist. Maybe take your eagle legs. So if you're going over to the right, wrap your left knee over your right, shuffle hips to the left and come into your twist. So you've got like 5 breaths on each side in your twist. Or if you're feeling like you've got quite a bit of energy and you want to open up the whole of the front body, your back's feeling nice and supple this morning, you can come into either a supported bridge or you can even press the hands down and power up into your wheel. We've opened quite a lot this morning, so that should feel pretty okay if you've got wheel in your practice. So yeah, yogi's choice. A little bit of twisting and chilling, or a little bit of active opening. Either way, you've got about 5 breaths on each side of your twist. Maybe you've got 10 breaths of back bending, with or without pushing into wheel. Remember, you can just enjoy a deep version of your bridge, clasping your hands and really switching on the glutes, really lifting the hips. Either way, check in with your breaths. Once you've done 5 in your twist on the right, head over to the left. Anyone taking bridge or wheel, let's lower down and bring the knees in. And then we'll all come back to a comfortable seat where we began the practice this morning. But before you do that, let's roll into it. So enjoy that real massage of the spine all the way from the tailbone to the base of the neck. Enjoy a few rocks and rolls before you come up. Great, and this is where we'll finish. And just notice now how you feel. Close the eyes and just check in. Bookend your practice with a little check-in. Hopefully you're feeling that little bit taller, feeling that a little bit more revitalized through the torso, a little bit more length, a little bit more space. And let's just lower the chin to the chest with our eyes closed as a little sign of gratitude for our bodies, for our movement this morning, for our fellow yogis for joining. It's lovely to see so many of you. And let's have some gratitude for the day ahead and all that it may bring. Wishing you all a lovely Friday. So great to see you. And yeah, a little bit later tomorrow, it's Saturday, so we're here at 8:30 for some core strength. Awesome. Well done, guys.
Thanks, Vicky.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well done.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Vicky.
Bye, Eva.